You guys made up. I made up with Triple H. This is all about healing.
I'm not here to make friends. I'm here to make money.
CM Punk is no stranger to making a big splash, whether it was his debut on AEW TV in 2021 or his return to WWE after 10 long years away at Survivor Series 2023. This is someone who, for better or for worse, professional wrestling fans want to see on the biggest stage in the biggest match possible. And with the Royal Rumble just a few days away, WWE has a chance to make another big splash with arguably professional wrestling's most polarizing superstar. And in this video, I'm going to tell you why CM Punk is not only the right choice from my booking standpoint to win the Rumble, but also from a business standpoint and how the hell this will all happen. Before I do, though, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you get notified whenever a new video is released. I'm Omer Q for Real Take Wrestling. Let's talk about it. Okay, so CM Punk, obviously we all know, returned at Survivor Series 2023. Raucous crowd, raucous ovation. I was in the building, and honestly, it was one of the loudest reactions we've ever seen in professional wrestling, period. And it's a moment that we will never forget. And if you go back throughout CM Punk's career, there are very few defining moments that you can point to and say, that was a big splash and that changed the course of professional wrestling history. Whether it was his pipe bomb in 2011, him leaving WWE in 2014, appearing back up in AEW in 2021, or his return, this is someone who, no matter what he's doing, we all want to see. And given all of that, if you're WWE, it just makes business sense for CM Punk to be the guy to win, because no matter what, people are going to be talking about it. Whether they like him, whether they hate him, it doesn't matter. People are going to be talking about CM Punk. He's going to be somehow even more popular after having won the Rumble. And you can build up multiple scenarios around this to make it as profitable as possible. And of course, we know that as of right now, Seth Rollins is injured. And as of this recording, we don't know the extent of the injury. But whether or not Rollins has to relinquish the belt, Punk is still the guy. And he will remain the guy unless something catastrophic happens. And the reason for that is, one, the business opportunity that it gives for WWE, but also it gives you the chance to use one of CM Punk's most notable and epic talking points. And this is something that was forever etched in history in that now infamous Colt Cabana Art of Wrestling podcast. CM Punk has never main evented WrestleMania. That is one of his biggest gripes going back to 2014. He wanted to main event WrestleMania. He wanted to be in that match against The Rock and John Cena, and it just didn't happen. And whether or not he admits it right now, you have to think that part of Punk is still trying to get that Mania match, trying to check it off his bucket list and move on from that part of his wrestling life. And it's not only something that you could do for Punk, but it's something that you can play off of in the months leading up to WrestleMania and following his win at the Rumble. You can point at that thing and say, I'm CM Punk, and I won the Rumble, and I am guaranteed a main event match, the match that I was robbed from, the match that I deserved, the match that I am now going to win for the world title. And it's something that can carry, honestly, any feud he goes into, whether it's Rollins, whether it's Priest, whether it's Drew McIntyre. Why did I just mention those guys? I'll tell you when I book the actual Rumble and the events following it in just a second. But it just makes sense for CM Punk to be the guy. You'll make money, you'll tell a good story, and on top of it, you'll also give Punk a moment that he's wanted for nearly a decade. So we have that. Now we're moving on to what the hell actually happens when we get there. So the Royal Rumble is here. Of course, you have the match, 30 men. Everyone's brawling. Everyone's trying to get that main event. And the final four of the match are as follows: CM Punk, Cody Rhodes, Drew McIntyre and Gunther. So, of course, Gunther was actually in the Final Four last year. Now we add Cody in the mix. We add McIntyre in the mix. Cody, of course, won last year's Rumble. And a lot of people do believe that Cody is going to win this year again. And because he's on Raw, and the only way to get to Roman, you would think, would be by winning the Royal Rumble, and getting that main event shot on night 2 at WrestleMania. A lot of people believe that that's the only way for him to jump to SmackDown and actually do it. But, I do think that there's another way to do it. I'll get to that in a different video, but for the sake of this one, Cody doesn't win the Rumble. In fact, the Final Four, they're staring down. It's Drew and Gunther on one side, CM Punk and Cody on the other. CM Punk and Cody are like, all right, for the next few minutes, we're going to be together. We're going to have an alliance to eliminate these heels. And what does CM Punk do? The second Cody starts charging towards Gunther and Drew McIntyre, he chucks him out of the Rumble. And he finishes, at least for now, the story and the dream crushed by CM Punk. And this is done for 2 reasons. Number one, I think it's a really good way to get Cody out of the Rumble and not like make him look ridiculous, but I think it's a way to keep him strong and also really drop the seeds for the CM Punk heel turn. And I think, in effect, for a lot of people, they're going to be booing the hell out of him after that one. But I think you can accomplish both of those things in that moment. And then the final 3, of course, Gunther, McIntyre, and CM Punk. So CM Punk manages to eliminate Gunther. He's out. Great showing by him. I think he's definitely going to be in the running to win next year's Rumble. But for now, he's gone. And the final 2, Drew McIntyre and CM Punk. 2 people who have been really going at it in promos in recent weeks on Raw. 2 people who both have a dream to main event WrestleMania. CM Punk robbed of it back in 2013 when a lot of people believed that he was the true main event, that he was the main event in WWE. And Drew McIntyre robbed of it, not because of booking, not because of ego, not because someone said he wasn't good enough, but because of a global pandemic. That was the only thing that stopped Drew McIntyre from having his moment in front of thousands of screaming fans at WrestleMania. And no matter what he says, yes, he main evented, but it still irks him and it still messes with him, in storyline at least, that he never got to have his moment and really take in the cheers. And that's what he wants this year. So Punk versus McIntyre, irresistible force, immovable object, and we're getting a solid 10 minutes at the end of just these 2 beating the crap out of each other. And you see CM Punk, he's on the ropes, he's on the outside. McIntyre has him ready, goes for the Claymore kick. Punk ducks it, and he uses the ropes for leverage, bringing McIntyre to the outside. They fight on the outside on the apron, and then Punk gets McIntyre up, GTS, and McIntyre flops both feet, hitting the outside. Punk on the apron, victorious, winning the Royal Rumble match. And that's the moment. That is the vision. That is CM Punk achieving his dream, guaranteeing himself a spot at WrestleMania in the main event. Whether it's night 1 or night 2, doesn't really matter. It's gonna happen. But I think off of this, you could do so much. And I know what a lot of you are thinking out there. But what about the title? What's happening? What are the scenarios with Seth? How does that change this booking? Like I said before, I don't think Seth either vacating, losing, or keeping the belt really does anything for this. Because I think at the end of the day, we are destined to have a multi-man match at WrestleMania for the World Heavyweight Championship. CM Punk is number 1. He's going to win the Rumble. Number 2, you have whoever's the champion. And for me, there's really 2 ways for WWE to go about this. I think it's either going to be Damian Priest by then. He's going to either have cast in on Rollins or cast in on someone else. Or you're going to be facing with a scenario where McIntyre finds his way back into that match. And I think that a match between McIntyre, Punk, and Priest, the champion, if Rollins can't go, or Rollins if he can, either way, that is a triple threat main event match. And there's multiple reasons why you can justify it. If you're talking about Priest not being ready or Priest not being a draw, here's the secret, guys. No one's a draw until you make them a draw. No one's a draw until you book them like a draw. No one's a draw until they get the experience in that moment at WrestleMania. And I think this could be the start of Damian Priest's real ascent into main event tier status in WWE. So having him in that spot, if Seth Rollins can't go, obviously if Seth can go, then Rollins is the guy, and that makes the match even bigger. And I think no matter what, though, whoever's the champion, whoever's in that match, the end result is CM Punk at WrestleMania in Philadelphia, the grandest stage of them all, winning by cheating. And it has to be dirty, and it has to be obvious, because that is the story you tell. Someone is probably wondering out there, why did you have Punk eliminate Cody? Because no matter what, that is something that you can go back to. And if you want to plant the seeds for why CM Punk is mad at Cody or why he betrayed Cody in that moment, there's an obvious storyline there. In Cody Rhodes' final promo in All Elite Wrestling, he referenced how CM Punk stated that he wanted to change professional wrestling. CM Punk said all these things, but me, Cody Rhodes, I actually went out there and did them. I achieved them. I changed the industry. And that is something that you can use as a jumping off point. And the Royal Rumble elimination a year from now, 2 years, whenever you want to tell this story, Cody and Punk can come back to this. Cody can say, you almost ruined my dream. At the end of the day, we're going to find out who wins in just a few days. And no matter what, I think that CM Punk is definitely going to be one of, if not the last, remaining superstars in this match, just off of name value alone. But obviously, we'll see what happens. There's a long way until WrestleMania. A lot of things could happen. Seth Rollins' injury has really thrown a lot our way as far as how we could see things turning out. But at the end of the day, one thing's for sure. Expect CM Punk to be in the big match at WrestleMania. And I think expect him to win the Rumble. But obviously, I know many of you out there will disagree with this. So let me know in the comments section. Who do you think is going to win the Rumble? Will it be CM Punk? Will it be Cody Rhodes? Will it be Drew McIntyre? Hell, will it be Jinder Mahal? Let me know in the comments section. But also be sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you get notified whenever a new video is released. I'm Omer Q for Real Take Wrestling. Be happy, be healthy, and as always, keep it real.